Welcome to the LMD Podiatry Podcast. Trust us to get back on your feet. Here's your host, Dr. Lauren DeBaccaroff.
Hello, and welcome everyone to episode number 2 of the LMD Podiatry Podcast. I'm your co-host and producer of the show, Jeremy Wolf. I'm here with none other than your host, Dr. Lauren DeBaccaroff. Dr. Lauren, so nice to see you again. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. TGI Friday.
I know it seems that we're always meeting up on the glorious Friday, and I am getting ready as per usual, getting ready for a nice, long, relaxing weekend with the family. How about yourself?
Yeah, we're gonna have an interesting weekend. My brother's wife just gave birth, so in the Jewish faith, we have on the 8th day there's the circumcision, so that's going on this weekend. So that's gonna be fun. All the families getting together, baby naming, things like that.
Awesome. Well, congratulations to them. Please spread the good love and goodwill over there, and happy to hear it. So I thought we'd get into today. I just started running. I'm 43 years old. I'm pounding the pavement. I don't know if that's a good or bad idea, but it certainly feels good when I get through it, when I'm done. But I'm starting to notice now a little pain on the tips of my toes and a little uncomfortability in my feet. And I'm wondering if you could maybe talk about some common foot problems that folks have when they start running, and then things that they can do to treat, tips, little tidbits you can give listeners to enlighten us on what we could do there.
Yeah, for sure. So, you are a new runner, right? The people who have been running for a long time, I think they know how to manage it. But when it comes to any high impact sport or activity, it's all about the shoe. And when you look for a shoe when you run, you have to look for a shoe that is very stiff. A lot of people are into lately the minimalist running shoes and things like that, because they contour to your foot better and things like that. But if you're over 150 pounds and you're not, an Olympic runner, and you're pounding on the asphalt, you need some more shock absorption. When we run, you're basically constantly on the ball of your foot. So the shoe that you want to wear has to be a thick-soled, well-padded shoe that can absorb all the shock or the brunt of the force that your body is planting on the ball of your foot when you run. So that's the main thing is the shoes. It's the most important thing for a runner. I always recommend going to the shoe store. Don't buy your sneakers online. A lot of people do that. You gotta go to the store.
Guilty.
You gotta try on your shoes, walk around. My favorite is the shoe test. So the shoe test is basically you take the shoe in your hands, and then if you can bend it in half like a pretzel, then it does not provide enough stability for you. There are a lot of shoes like that, okay? My recommended brands are always Asics, Brooks, Hoka, New Balance, because those shoes, they're just made better. I try avoiding Skechers, Puma, Nike, Adidas.
Really?
Some of their models are better than others, but in general, a lot of their shoes are very flimsy, and it's really good. They're fashionable and everything, but if you are an athlete and you want to protect your feet, you want to use the stiffer soled shoe, a shoe that only slightly bends at the toe, and you can't completely bend it in half like a pretzel.
This is important for me because there's so many things. Well, there's so many things you just said. First of all, I'm running with Nikes. My younger brother, years and years ago, was working at Nike, and he had a family employee discount. And I bought a whole bunch of shoes online, and I've had these Nike racing shoes that are supposedly designed for running, and they have great soles on the bottom, but it's like a netting around the foot. And I think that's probably, now that you're saying this, it's probably the reason why I'm getting a little bit of.
I find that Nikes don't have the same thickness all the way across. Nikes tend to have like a little wedge, and for a runner, that can actually cause pressure on the tips of your toes, like you're saying.
Give me 1 second. I want to get, since we're talking about shoes, this is an important topic here. Give me 1 second. I want to get the shoe and show you what I'm running with, and you can tell me if it meets the test, because I'm guessing it's not going to. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
It might.
All right. And anybody who's just listening here, we apologize. You can't see this, but this is more for folks that are watching this. So this is what I got. It's one of these. So it does bend pretty easily. Well, no, it doesn't actually. It's got a good sole, but it's all netting around there. And like, should I go get a new pair of shoes? Because this is what I'm doing every day. And I'm starting to
those look really flimsy.
Really. So definitely I see a pair of Brooks in my near future.
Yes, definitely. Now, the other thing I was going to mention about shoes, shoes are the backbone of your feet, obviously, but the problem with shoes today is they're not made for the foot type. They're made for the foot size.
Yeah.
So a lot of people have different types of foot shapes, and not every shoe is good for every foot shape. Okay. Which is why I always, if you are someone who's on your feet a lot and you do a lot of working out or a lot of athletics, I always highly recommend some type of orthotic in your shoe, whether it be custom or non-custom. And what the orthotics or the inserts in your shoes do, they correct your foot, they align your foot with your ankle and your leg, and that actually helps balance and redistribute the pressure on your foot, and it makes your foot feel better. And you're less likely to get injuries when you do the higher impact sports because you have more control of the foot. So with a good shoe and a good shoe and a good insert together, like that combo is going to help prevent a lot of other, toe pain and joint pain and sprains and injuries and things like that.
Makes a lot of sense. Now that I've been running with the wrong shoes and my toes are kind of hurting me and my feet are not feeling the best, what should I be doing after, when I'm done running? Is there a lotion I should put on my feet? Should I maybe soak them in an ice bath? What should I do to ease the pain, if you will?
Do they hurt after you run?
I mean, it's not, the tips of the toes are hurting a little bit. I mean, it's not unbearable, right? But if there's anything I could do, I'm a big fan of.
Here's a couple of my tips and tricks for runners. So first of all, if you run outside, it's always better to run on asphalt than on concrete because it's easier on your knees. Okay, that's number one. Number two, if it's hot outside and it's sweaty, the other thing with athletes, you want to prevent any type of athlete's foot, things like that. When we sweat and it's hot, we create a moisturized environment in the shoe that doesn't get any air. And then that can create athlete's foot and things like that. So that's what I always recommend. What I usually recommend for that is also don't wear the same shoe every day to run. You want to give the shoe a break. You want it to air out. You want it to relax a little bit. And then as far as actual running tips and tricks for, the health of the foot, unless you have pain, you don't really have to ice your feet. I always just recommend, just light stretching of the foot, ankle, and leg. There's different stretches that you can do. You could stretch the plantar fascia, which is your arch, and you could do that by stretching out your toes, making them point up. So that stretches your arch a little bit. Okay. Stretching your calves like a runner stretch, putting your hands towards the wall and just kind of sinking down and stretching your calf. Because what happens after a run is, everything has been used, right? And then while everything kind of reheals itself, you want to help your foot out. So you do that by taking tension off of all the joints of the foot. And we do that with those types of stretches. And try not to walk barefoot after your run because you just ran and then you're putting more pressure on the pads of your foot.
See, as you're talking about all the stretching, I'm sitting here in my chair and I'm starting to stretch my calves and that's something that I'm so negligent, right? Like stretching is probably my bugaboo. When I get up in the morning and I get ready to go out and run, you're so stiff when you wake up, and just doing the stretching is so uncomfortable and painful. but it's so necessary. So I appreciate you sharing that with me. I'm going to start to implement some stretching.
Do it like at night before you go to sleep, and then in the morning you won't be as stiff. Yeah. Usually the stiffness is because your body's trying to like heal something.
I'm definitely going to implement a lot of what you said into my daily routine as I progress forward with my running. Dr. Lauren, is there anything else that you'd like to share before we wrap up today?
Like I said, if you want to run and jump and do all those things, I always recommend wearing the right shoes. And if you have any issues or you want to ever discuss what kind of shoes to wear, I have patients that come to my office all the time coming with a sack of shoes, and I have absolutely no issues going through all the different shoes with you guys and telling you what's the best fit for you.
All right, last question before we go. Will you come with me to buy running shoes?
If you get me some Starbucks, I'll come.
Looking forward to it. All right, cool. Dr. Lauren, always a pleasure. Looking forward to continuing this journey and learning more about what you do for our great community and great tips that you could share. And you certainly helped me out a lot today. And hopefully the same will be true for many of our listeners. So have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy the bris and everything that goes with that. And we'll look forward to connecting next time on the next episode of the LMD Podiatry Podcast. Everyone take care. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you for listening to the LMD Podiatry Podcast. For more information, visit daviefootcare.com. That's DAVIE footcare.com or call 954-680-7133.